My tips for dating when you're on the spectrum, I would say that be open and honest with the person that you're dating. Hey, what's going on internet? I'm Dan. I have Aspergers Syndrome, ADHD, OCD and dyslexia, and I make weekly videos on this type of content. So if you're new around here and you want to learn more than just watching these questions, then hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. And also make sure, if you're watching on Facebook, to give this page a like and a follow so you see daily videos from me. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and I thought I'd film this video up here in my room. I never really film in our bedroom when I'm doing videos on like weighted blankets and stuff like that. So I've got my iPad with me, and I'm gonna go through all of the questions that you guys asked me using the hashtag #TheAspieWorld on Twitter, and everybody who came through on my Instagram stories, which is super important because most of you guys came through on Instagram stories. So make sure you follow me on Twitter and follow me on Instagram to know when I ask you to ask me questions to be featured in a video like this next time. So I took a bunch of questions from Instagram, I took a bunch of questions from Twitter, and I just thought it'd be really fun if I just did this kind of off the cuff video talking to you guys about it. Okay, so let's get into the juicy questions. Okay, I'm gonna lock the iPad so I can keep it upright so I don't have to keep switching it. Okay, so this is gonna be fun. How many we got here? We've got a lot of questions to get through, so I'll take the ones from Twitter first. Okay, so this one is from Andy Cookie, which is Indie Andy. He's also an autistic YouTuber, so definitely check him out. He said, how do you feel perceptions of autism have changed since you started the AspieWorld? And I guess he's talking about my YouTube channel. I feel that the perceptions have changed to the understanding of what autism is. So like before, people would like they'd be aware of autism, but they didn't really know, you know, what is it, what's it like, what's someone who's got a good vocabulary, or somebody who doesn't, or somebody who's got selective mutism, or somebody who, you know, all these things that we're talking about on the channel. It's good. I feel like it's changing, and not just my channel, but loads of people. Maybe I've inspired other people, maybe other people came to the same conclusion that I did, but I think since starting the channel, there's been a lot more cool stuff happening with people on the spectrum, and I think it can only get better from here. Okay, next question is from Sam Biz, and they said, how old were you when you were diagnosed with autism and ADHD, OCD and dyslexia? So I was actually diagnosed with dyslexia when I was about 18. Then I was diagnosed with autism, ADHD and OCD when I was 26. Okay, so the next question is from Brandon, and they said, do you ever accidentally offend people without realizing it? Yeah, I do all the time actually. So autism has this like non-barrier thing, and I quite often offend people. Do you know, I remember specific times where I'd say something and Noe, my girlfriend, would be like, Dan, you can't say that to that person. I'm like, uh-oh. And like we were in a birthday party for my brother-in-law the other day, and me and my cousin Mike, who's like my best friend, and his sister Colette, we were all like just talking, and then Mike's ex girlfriend walks over, and everyone's really like quiet, and I said, wow, this is well awkward. And then they were like, dude, you can't say that out loud. So yeah, maybe I do offend people quite often. Okay, the next question is from my friend Says Francis. She's awesome. I did a video with her. I will link it in the card above here. And Says said, what tips do you have for someone with autism who has started or who is currently dating? My tips for dating when you're on the spectrum, I would say that be open and honest with the person that you're dating, and also try and get them to understand where you're coming from, and try to understand where they're coming from. I know it's really difficult, but it's all about communication, guys. Okay, the next question is from Krista Cashin, and they said, what do you believe are the best ways to cope with being overwhelmed? So I get overwhelmed quite easily, but I normally get overwhelmed because of situations, so I avoid situations that are going to get me overwhelmed. So for instance, I wouldn't go to a busy street in a city if I didn't have to. I would avoid it like the plague. I would also say that, you know, being overwhelmed could be down to like sensory stuff. So I have ear defenders, and I also have like sensory, noise cancelling headphones for like sensory issues. And I also have sensory like bracelets that I can chew on and stuff, and I also wear sunglasses, so I kind of reduce all the ability to be overwhelmed. So the idea is that if you're going to get overwhelmed by something, try your best to reduce that stress before even getting to that level. That's kind of like the basic principle of it. Okay, so let's go look at some more questions. Okay, still on Twitter, Emma asked, do you ever feel forced to be somewhere when you're with friends or family? Like you don't really want to be there, but you feel like you have to, and is too scared to move, and then end up on your phone to save yourself? Yeah, all the time. So like my girlfriend's mum always has like parties and get-togethers in their houses, and they always invite us over there, and then it gets way overwhelming, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't deal with it, and then I end up just like retreating to the bathroom and I just go on my phone and then just kind of look at Pokemon memes or something, I don't know, you know. And that's the kind of, I do get that a lot actually. Yeah. Okay, so the last question from Twitter is Cabitude Gaming, and they said, do you ever melt down in public? Do you have any advice for public speaking? I always have to be very careful about how into conversations and topics I get, because if I get too passionate or overstimulated, I start crying out of the blue and end up start crying out of the blue, and that tends to make things awkward. Okay, so yeah, you've asked a few questions there. So do I melt down in public? I have had meltdowns in public, yes. I was once doing a after show party for Comic-Con, and I was there with my friend Tom Nicholas, who is an actor. He plays a guy called Kevin Myers in American Pie. There's like a series of movies called American Pie, and he plays a guy called Kevin, and he's a good friend of mine, and I play in his band when he's over here sometimes. So I was playing a gig with my band, opening for him, and then playing with him in Comic-Con's after show party, and so I was at his table talking to him, sorting stuff out in the middle of Comic-Con, like just crazy busy, thousands of people everywhere, and I freaked out, and my roadie was like, uh-oh, and you have to take me out, and my manager was like, Alex, who was managing my band at the time, was just like, just trying to sort out the situation. It was crazy. Any advice for public speaking? Just do it. Go out there and be you. I kind of zone into myself when I public speak. I don't really think that there's an audience there. I just kind of go into myself and I go, okay, this is me, and then I'm going to do me, and then forget everybody else. Just always concentrate on you and you'll be fine. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, getting passionate about talking to people in conversations. I get overly passionate about stuff. Like my special interests are like conspiracy theories and like something like global politics and SEO. I'm really into SEO and social media marketing right now. So when I get into something and somebody kind of either interrupts me or disagrees, I kind of get really shook and I get really emotionally tied in. I just end up arguing with people and shouting, so I kind of avoid those things now. We have buzzwords, and my brother actually said that you know, when we meet new people, he's always like, oh, Dan comes with an instruction manual, don't mention these topics like aliens, like the Queen or whatever. So he's like, don't mention these topics. So yeah, that's a big issue for me. Okay, now on to Instagram questions. Let's get going. There's quite a few of these. Okay, KLS Boswell said, what editing software do you use? I currently use Final Cut Pro for editing videos. I also use Motion for doing kind of like graphic work on there. I also use Photoshop and Lightroom for the editing software for my photos. Okay, so another question here from Maggie May 65, and they said, does CBT work for anxiety associated with Asperger's? Yes, I believe it does. I've never had cognitive behavioral therapy before, but I believe it does some good for anxiety and stuff with autism. I've heard some good reports. Okay, the Mad Hatter 100 said, does autism affect balance? It can do if it's comorbid with dyspraxia. Now, dyspraxia is a condition that interferes with coordination and balance and other types of things. I'm not too familiar with dyspraxia, even though my therapist did say that they believe I do have dyspraxia, but I don't know the ins and outs, so it was just something from their observation. And yes, I think it would alter that. It would, you know, alter the balance or impact somebody's balance, because I quite often fall over. I call it stationary vertigo. Like I'm stood up straight and then all of a sudden I'll fall over on the floor. Liam Bean 16 said, how do you deal with people bashing on something you are really invested in? I get it all the time, and I just ignore people, dude. You do you. You are awesome, and just remember that the things you're interested in may not always interest other people, so just do you, man, and just forget it. Look, they're not worth talking to. If they're going to bash it, like haters, people come on my channel to bash me all the time, and I just say, okay, well, if they're wasting their life coming on my channel bashing me, it's more fool them, because they're the ones wasting their life, nothing to do with me. Okay, so Brenny Brennenziski, sorry if I said that wrong, said, what is your favourite thing about being on the spectrum? Favourite thing about being on the spectrum? I like the way my brain just gets obsessed with things and that I really dive into something. I just love it. I love that. I love the fact that I'm able to do that, and I feel like I get super, like, I start stimming when I'm in that situation. I'm loving reading those things or getting super hyped about something and I start stimming or rocking and stimming, and I love that. But then again, if I wasn't on the spectrum, maybe I wouldn't feel like that. I don't know. Okay, so Nick's Journey Aspie vlogger said, no question, just well done for all you have achieved and more. Keep striving. Thank you so much, dude. That's awesome. That's a nice little surprise. Okay, Case_Salisbury said, do you suffer from really bad anxiety due to having Asperger's Syndrome? In a nutshell, yeah. I've actually done a few videos on that. I'll try and leave them in a link above here. I did a video on being totally riddled with anxiety. It stopped me going to an event to talk at an event. Okay, so Mitchell M. Asked said, do you get stomach contraction when you eat something you don't like? I guess we all do. I mean, if you're going to eat something you don't really like, you're going to get some kind of stomach issue. That's probably one of the reasons why you don't like it. Okay, Stranger_from the past said, how to tell others you have autism without being awkward? There is no other way to do it. You just say, look, I have autism. Okay. Ode_Sati said, how old are you? I am currently 32 years old. My birthday is on July 15th and I was born in 1986, which makes me 33 in July of 2019. I know, I'm super old. Sorry. Okay, so Hope for Ages Photography said, what's your plan for the future of the channel? Good question. The plan for the channel is to carry on making educational and entertainment content. I'm moving more into educating you guys with vlogs during my day. So, you know, I upload a vlog every Friday. And then also, I am going to be doing feature-length content on here on specific topics, like we're going to be discussing ABA very soon. David.Bridge167 said, how do you control your anxiety? I actually use a supplement called CBD, and it's a gummy. It's like a sweet, like a candy that you just chew and you take it. And CBD is a cannabis extract which is non-psychotic. It's got no psychoactivity in it, so it doesn't make you stoned, and it's super good. There is a discount for 20% off in the US and Europe in the link in the description below if you want to get yourself some for cheap. Okay, so Sophisticated_Denial said, hi Dan, are you a vegetarian or a vegan? Good question. I am actually a vegetarian, but I'm mostly vegan. I don't drink cow's milk. The only things I have that are animal products, I'll have eggs, I may have cheese, and I may have yogurt, and all of them have to be organic. That's like a #1 rule. Okay, so 96 Salgado said, what is your favorite TV show? My favorite TV show ever? Oh my goodness, that's a good question. My favorite TV show, I have loads, okay? So I really like Stranger Things, Adventure Time, Breaking Bad, Star Trek. There's loads. I think probably my favorite one at the moment is like The Punisher and Daredevil on Netflix. Love those shows. Okay, so MEI.Fursuit said, best way to cope with people when you're in shutdown/burnout and struggling to be verbal. Just tell them that you can't deal with that situation. Tell them that you're you know, you need some time alone, and just go out. And even if they don't understand, just go. It's you that you need to take care of, not other people. Okay, I can't say that name. They said, what coping skills can I use to help me talk to others? If you're wondering about like making friends, I actually made a video all about how to make friends for autism. I'll try my best to leave it in a card above here, but if not, guys, if you just go to my channel and look for how to make friends with autism, I only did it about 2 weeks ago. That has some great tips in there. Okay, Carson3666 said, have you been to Scotland before? No. Kitty Lover Freya said, if I have ADHD, is it possible that I am autistic too? Possibly, because ADHD and autism are comorbid, which means they kind of exist together sometimes. HL Hartnett said, are there any places in the US to get an Asperger's diagnosis? I am not sure. I don't know, I have no idea. Ruare Ruari Figan said, do you speak Welsh/Cymraeg? Yndw, dwi'n siarad Cymraeg, ond dipyn bach dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg wan. My ASD Journey said, opinions on whether autistic can work in jobs that centre around supporting others. I believe people on the autism spectrum can, because it's definitely up to them. It's like, if you can handle that capacity of work, then do it. You know, why not? I don't think there's any issues there. Photograph_account said, can you talk about eye contact intense? Eye contact is intense. I did a video specifically on it where I feel like it reaches into somebody's soul. When you're looking at them dead in the eyes, it's like you're reaching into soul. That's why I don't like doing it, and I feel super uncomfortable. Quantum Kaza, a buddy of mine, he's also a YouTuber, so check him out. He said, what's your best coffee spot and why? Also, if you want to include your best coffee. I don't drink coffee, dude. I don't know, he makes videos all about coffee. He's got a series all about coffee. I don't make coffee, and I don't like coffee, to be honest with you, so there are no good coffee stores that I can actually recommend. Okay, Scarlett and Scott Dine said, hey Dan, how are you today? Loving your photography and positive vibes. I'm very well, thank you, Scarlett, and thank you so much for the good stuff about my photography. And the last thing is from Ben9876382, and they said, hi. Well, hi to you too. Guys, that concludes all of the questions that I picked from my Instagram and my Twitter that you guys asked me using the hashtag #TheAspieWorld, also using my Instagram stories to send me questions. I loved this. I found it was really, really cool. If you'd like to see more of these types of videos, please give this one a thumbs up so I know what is good and if you guys like this stuff. And I like having this time to spend with you guys, my followers. But if you're new around here and you don't already know who I am and you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.